We have just entered the dark timeline of the UFC. A generational fumble just happened, and I think it genuinely broke the fan base for the upcoming days. Jiri quite literally just let himself be beat after Carlos Ulberg tore his ACL. He got an opportunity from the MMA gods themselves, and he still let himself be beat. Now, there's this narrative online about how people call Jiri showing mercy cope, and I call bullcrap on that.
He has said since that he showed you mercy, and he regrets that, and he let his guard down as a result of that.
Bullshit. Bullshit. That's bullshit. Total bullshit. That's fear. That was fear that he had. That wasn't any kind of mercy. Like, he knows he's a fighter, and that's the difference between a champion and someone who's just playing for the crowd. There was no mercy in there. He was full of fear, hesitation, and that's what got him clipped.
I do also find it pretty interesting how Carlos Ulberg is denying this whole mercy thing that's going around, saying that he really wasn't doing it, and that, I was there in the fight, and I think he was scared. But I think it's pretty clear seeing the fight, what was actually happening. And I honestly just think this is just Carlos Ulberg trying to defend himself. People calling him a paper champ, how it was pure luck how he got that belt. But again, his ACL pretty much gave out, so maybe the luck balances itself out. Jiri did do some leg kicks, but after it was really clear that Ulberg was compromised, he stopped the leg kicks and quite literally stopped fighting and let Carlos get to the center of the cage twice. It was so frustrating to watch, and the ending, honestly, not surprising. Jiri just let himself get hit and lowering his guard. Jiri is not the most technical fighter in the world, and Carlos Ulberg is a very technical fighter with devastating power. Jiri, you cannot keep those hands down like that. What are you thinking? You can't allow yourself to make these mistakes like these, especially in a title fight. The fact that Carlos Ulberg was able to generate that kind of power with his torn ACL is insane. The way Carlos even won the fight, I can't be angry. It was impressive and devastating. Carlos had a game plan and played it smart after the injury. Jiri doesn't have anyone else to blame but himself. I think Jiri did learn a hard lesson in life and in the cage. I understand, and I do give respect to Jiri for showing that kind of mercy and being respectful, but this is a title cage fight. Jiri is now 1-3 in title fights, and he's lost them pretty badly. But I mean, I do still think he could get there. Maybe light heavyweight isn't exactly deep. Man, these title fights lately have just been getting weird lately. Really bad juju. Recently, we had Merab lose his belt because he wanted to be the first 4-time champion in a year. Jan's game plan was great, but how effective would it have been if Merab hadn't cut weight and gone to scraps so many times last year? Not to mention, Merab just broke his nose and just ignoring getting surgery on it to not miss his rematch with Peter Yan. And not to mention, Peter Yan is also getting back surgery, already had it, so there's that. Pantoja also just lost his belt recently because he decides to make it fun and scrap with Joshua Van, only to get a freak injury. And his title reign just snapped like that. Van won the belt, fair and square, let's just be honest here, but the better fighter lost that night. Fucking Tom Aspinall's on hold because of Cyril fucking Gane raking his eye. Jesus Christ, if Alex Pereira loses in the White House, I think it might actually be over for us fans. Jiri losing the belt because he wanted to show some mercy. Keep those hands up, man. It was just all so frustrating. Look, all kudos to Ulberg. Keep knocking out people, keep giving us excited fights, and I'm all for it. Sure, his personality is dry as hell, and it really does just come down to being an attractive male stripper, but at least he's not Ankalaev. Sorry, but it's true. That being said, with Carlos Ulberg's injury, I genuinely think that Carlos will have to either vacate or what's probably most likely an interim light heavyweight fight. Which, before even getting into that, isn't it crazy how many champions just keep getting injured in light heavyweight? What is this curse? Of course, almost the entirety of light heavyweight division, top 5, is on a losing streak. Maybe get some light heavyweight fights going, but honestly, I think there's a possibility we get an interim fight with Jiri and Ankalaev, both coming off losses. Call me crazy, but it might happen. Like, come on, I'm hearing talk about a Costa title shot. Hello? But if nothing really changes, get ready to see light heavyweight title fights as co-mains for the future until Jiri gets the belt or a light heavyweight star comes out of nowhere. Or if Chimaev actually moves up after beating Strickland. At least we can rebuild the light heavyweight division with fresh blood. And who would have thought Josh Hogan having the greatest heavyweight fight of all time? His gimmick is cringe, sure, but it's fun. It makes us want to cheer and hate watch the guy. And he even backed up all of his shit talk. But he won, and because he won, a star is born. You gotta respect him accepting that fight against Derek Lewis at the White House, only 60 days later after already making a quick turnaround from his fight in January. Again, his whole shtick that he's doing, it's cringe, it's not funny at all, Even in the press conferences and interviews that he does, it's all crickets. No one's laughing at what he's saying. But he gets eyes. And even if you hate him or whatever, you want to see him get his ass beat. I thought it was going to be all talk, no skill, and he proved everyone wrong. And hey, Colby Covington was doing his whole shtick and cringe shtick as well, with the personality and the trash talking, glazing Trump. And look where that got him. Not even on the White House. After begging to pretty much be on it, and then trying to start a fight with Bo Nickel to guarantee his spot.
All right, Bozo. I know you're a big fan of weight classes and refused to wrestle a 50-year-old man that was 6 pounds too heavy. And we all know someone of your moral superiority would never try to have a weight advantage in a fist fight. You won't stop talking about us being the same weight, which is honestly refreshing to hear because I'm 190 pounds right now and will weigh 170 without a problem on a full camp. So if we're the same weight like you claim, that means you're 190 pounds right now and full camp should get you down to 170 as well. I propose we do this in a weight class where one of us is ranked and there's actual stakes. So how about bring that stupid ginger bull cut down to 170 pounds, Lloyd Christmas, and I'll grant your wish to fight the biggest name in the welterweight division. It's not my fault that you're too fragile to handle the truth, Bozo. So quit acting like the world of this sport owes you anything, you spoiled little bitch. Tell your boy Tiki Epstein to call Hunter and ask nicely for King Colby at welterweight, and maybe I'll oblige.
UFC didn't give a shit about him. And then he even dropped the whole political act.
I'm not really so politically. I think in the future, you won't see me campaign. You won't see me actively involved in politics. I don't want to be it. I think it's a dirty game. I think that loyalty is never rewarded. And yeah, I don't really want to be a part of it anymore.
Also, Paulo Costa's masterclass on Azamat Mirzakhanov? I knew the kicks were going to be money against this guy. Was incredible. It was so much fun. I can't believe, but it seems like Paulo Costa's back. He's still talking about maybe moving back down to middleweight, but I think light heavyweight is where he should be. But I think take another fight. Fight a Khalil Roundtree, a Jamal Hill. Get up there, because, hey, there's not a lot of contenders with winning streaks right now. There's nothing for him at middleweight, and middleweight honestly seems to have a lot more skill right now going on. Again, if he moves back down to middleweight, this win pretty much meant nothing. Man, that card was just generational, man. The Aaron Pico title run starts now. I don't think I've seen a card in a pretty long time that had these lowest lows and the highest highs like this card. And I'm not gonna lie, this was one of my favorite cards I've seen in a long time. Probably the best one I've seen since 300. But oh my god, the commentary on that card was absolutely garbage. Literally one of the most commentary nights of all time. Never put Rogan and DC in the same booth again. Again, I'm heartbroken. I don't know how to feel. This image pisses me off, but this is why we love this sport and love talking about it so much. So anyways, what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments down below, because there's way too much to talk about and this video, because there's way too much to talk about, but I just had to get this video out as quickly as I personally could get it out. Don't forget to like the video if you like the video, and don't forget to subscribe on your way out. I'll see you for the casuals in the next one. Peace!
As I was getting ready for this interview, I saw when you were on UFC London, a reporter referred to you as a male stripper.
News on the line is that you used to be a male stripper yourself, and soon you'll be stripping a particular male of the title, perhaps.
And for the note, I wasn't stripping. It was more so hosting parties and just enticing women to come into clubs and stuff like that. So yeah, just put it out there.